This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, good morning, students. Today class we are going to discuss about bundle conductors and standard conductors and skin effect. So in last class we discussed about different types of parameters we are using in transmission line. That is the resistance, inductance, and capacitance. And we see different types of circuit. How we can analyze that based on the reduction of circuit. And next one is what are the different types of conductors we are using in the transmission system. So we discussed it in last class. So today class we are going to discuss about what are the differences between this what we discussed in the types of conductors and bundled conductors, and one more thing is skin effect. So these are the topics we are going to discuss in this today's class. So what we discussed what are the different types of conductors we discussed in last class?
AAC,
Right.
Triple AC,
Uh,
ACSR,
right.
ACR,
ACA.
AR,
So
sir.
these are the four conductors we are using in our transmission line. So already you guys are well known about what is the purpose of different types of conductors. Now today class I'm going to give them what are the differences among these conductors. I will show you that. So these are the topics we are going to discuss today's class. One is comparison between conductors, bundle conductors, standard conductors, and skin effect. So already we discussed different types of conductors in last class. Now here we are going to discuss about differences. So let me discuss the differences among these three conductors. One is WAC, AAC, and ACSR. So what is the abbreviation of WAC?
All aluminum conductor, sir.
All aluminum conductor. What about AAC?
All aluminum alloy conductor, sir.
Right. Next ACSR.
Aluminum conductor steel reinforced.
Right. So what is the meaning of reinforcement?
Strength, sir. Strength.
Right. So providing the additional strength, right? So these are the structure of these three conductors. Now we are going to differentiate with respect to the different factors. So let me see what are the factors we can differentiate among these three conductors. So these six factors we can comparison how it will be among these three conductors, that is WAC, AAC, and ACSR. The first one is uses. So where we can use these three conductors, and next one is what is the tensile strength of the three conductors. Span is nothing but the conductor we are connecting between the two towers. So whether it is long, short, or medium, like that. And weight. So weight is nothing but a tensile strength and corrosion protection, like rust condition. Next, sixth one is electrical conductivity. So these six, based on these six properties, how we can compare these three conductors? Let me see that. The first one is usage. In the usage point of view, the aluminum, all aluminum conductor is using in the coastal area. Why? Because the WAC conductor is a high resistance on the corrosion, right? So it won't be rust quickly when water drops is falls on that. So that's why this type of conductors we are using in the coastal area lines, and it has some less weight when compared to the remaining two. So that is the reason this type of conductors we are using in the coastal line, and it is the conductor having that 99.7% of purity of aluminum. So just note down this. So this type of questions I will ask in the slip test. So what is the purity of aluminum conductor, like that? So 99.7% of WAC aluminum has the aluminum conductor, and this type of conductors we are using in the coastal lines. Next one is AAC, that is all aluminum alloy conductor. So this is made up of a aluminum alloy. and it has a more tensile strength when compared to the WAC. And this type of conductors are generally using in the power line crossing a great river. It means that why we are using here means, suppose if the floods is coming here, there is a chances to occur soil corrosion. So at that time, the tower should be withstand with respect to this conductor because it is less weight. Why? Because aluminum is a less weight when compared to the steel and copper. So that's why this type of conductor we are using in that river crossing areas. Next one is heavy ice areas. So where the snowfalls are there, some areas snowfalls are there, right? So when the snowfalls is occur, that conductor weight will be increasing. So at that areas we are using that triple AC conductor. So application point of view also you will get questions. So which are the following conductors we are using in that river crossing areas and high areas like that they will ask. So this is the usage of triple AC, that is all aluminum alloy conductor. Next third one is all aluminum conductor with steel reinforcement. So when compared to last two conductors, it has the more mechanical strength. Why? Because we are placing the steel in the intercore. So it means that it will give the additional strength to the conductor. That's why this type of conductors are mostly using in that overhead transmission lines, and which would capable to carry the more amount of voltage. And in this conductor, 6% to up to 40% we are using the steel. So this percentage is also important. So what is the how they will ask means, what is the percentage of steel using in that aluminum conductor steel reinforcement, like that they will ask. So you should have to remember this percentage, that is 6% to 40%. So this is about usage of three conductors. Now let me see second one, that is tensile strength. So when compared to the tensile strength point of view, among these three, ACSR has the more tensile strength. Why? Because it consists of a steel at the core. Internally, it has a steel metal. So that will give the additional strength to the conductor. Next one is AAC. It is a medium tensile strength, and WAC is small. Why? Because it is completely arranged by the aluminum conductor. That's why it has the small tensile strength when compared to these two, that is ACSR and AAC. So this is the tensile strength of view and differences. Next one is corrosion protection. So corrosion protection is mainly depends on that where the transmission lines are located. So in some areas there are chances to get more rainfall. At that area we have to use that WAC conductor. Why? Because the conductor is completely belongs to the net, that is 99.7% of pure aluminum it has. So already you know that aluminum is having the more resistance on corrosion. So there is no chance to get the corrosion of this conductor. Now if you see this ACSR and the AAC having the poor resistance to corrosion. So that is the reason this type of conductors should not use in the coastal lines. That means where rainfalls are most probably occurring. So now AAC and WAC has the better corrosion resistance due to fact that they are completely made up of aluminum. So these are the three differences when corrosion protection point of view. So among these three, WAC having the more corrosion protection, and this one is medium and this one is small. So because of this metal, this conductor having that steel in that conductor. So that is the reason it has the poor resistance. Next, longer span. So longer span is nothing but a what is the distance of transmission line we are connecting between the two towers. Suppose if it is in less weight, we can elongate. If it is capable to more voltage, we can get that more length. If it is having the less carrying of voltage, we can arrange this in less distance. So that is the longer span. It means that when compared to these three, the ACS are having that more voltage carrying capability when compared to these two. That's why long transmission lines, that most probably we are using, that is overhead transmission lines, we are using ACSR. That's why the longer span is more for this ACSR. And when compared to ACSR, the AAA is having less. So that's why it is using in the medium transmission lines. and AAC. So this is the smart transmission lines we are using in the distribution system. So because it has the less capability of voltage carrying. So suppose if capacity is 230 volts and 400 volts, so this type of voltage requires less spanning. So that's why. So this is the differences among the three conductors in longer span of loop. Next, weight. So weight in a sense, already you know that when in weight point of view, aluminum has the less weight when compared to copper, steel, and iron, right? So in that, which one is the more weight means ACSR has the more weight. Why? Because this conductor is additional with aluminum plus steel. So in that there is so it is the steel is a reinforcement of this conductor, that is additional strength. That's why the weight of ACSR will be more. And next one is AAC. So it is aluminum. It is made up of aluminum alloy. So that's why it has the medium weight. And AAC. So it is completely made up of aluminum. That's why it is has the small. So every differences based on that you will get questions like that. So among these following three conductors which having the less weight, so you should have to remember this. So among these three, AAC have the less weight. Same at the same time, follow which of the following conductors having the more weight? So ACSR, like that they will ask questions like this. So this type of questions you will get in the Transco, Genco, and SPDC. Next, conductivity. So conductivity in the sense, what is the capability of carrying conductor? That is the current carrying conductor. So electricity based on that, the AAC, AAC, and ACS are having that more different scenarios. In that, AAC having that more conductivity than among these two. Why? Because the aluminum has the property to it will have the less corrosion property. Why? Because it is the having the more resistance on corrosion. So that's why it has the more electrical conductivity than two. That is, so these are the different levels of based on the conductivity. So AAC is more and AAC is medium and ACS are having that small. Now, so you seeing these three pictures, right? One is bike, car, and minibus. So what is the main intention of I'm keeping these pictures means just read on this. Which one can you give priority for your traveling by considering capacity, cost, and distance? So by considering these three parameters, which vehicle you can be priority based on capacity, cost, and distance. So this is the general question, right? So based on capacity, cost, and distance, which one will you? So suppose it will take consider a bike. So the capacity is 3 members, and it has to travel less than 50 kilometers. So that is the first condition is the number of persons are 3, and they have to travel less than 50 kilometers. Which vehicle we can support among these 3? The number of persons are 3 and they have to travel less than 50 kilometers. Which vehicle is suitable for that? So by considering these 3, Suresh.
Sir, car, sir.
In 3 points consider just call it capacity, cost, distance.
Car, sir.
Car. Suppose if the number of persons are 4, they have to travel more than 100 kilometers. So which can you can suppose 4 members at more than 100 kilometers. So they can't able to use bike because it is economical problem and capacity problem. So they can use only car and minibus. But in the point of cost point of view, when compared to these two, car is economical because it is the fuel consumption is less when compared to the minibus. So it means why I'm showing means based on the capacity and cost and distance, we can use different types of vehicles based on our economical point of view, right? So the same thing in transmission lines also, we are choosing the different types of conductors based on the cost and how much of capacity it should have to carrying the voltage and what is the distance. By choosing these 3 points, we can choose the different types of conductors. Let me see what are the conductors we have. So these are the different types of conductors we can choose based on the three properties. One is capacity, cost, and distance. Suppose if the carrying capacity will be less and cost is small and distance is small, we can go for conductor. And this type of conductors we are using in the substations and street light areas. And next one is if the capacity will be more, some bit more, and the distance will be more. That's why at that condition we can use this type of conductors, and it is called as strand conductors. So I already stated that standard means the number of conductors are bunched together and they are placing one on other. Then it is forming a standard conductors. One single piece is called as standard, right? So this type of conductors we can use where medium voltage level and medium distance are required. And next one is bundle conductor. So if you observe this bundle conductor structure, so it has the two pair of conductors. This one conductor is called as subconductor. The total is called as bundle conductor. At the same time, it is three bundle conductors and it is four. So this is called as duplex, triplex, and quadplex. So these are the bundle conductors are preferable where the voltage level is greater than the 230 kilovolts. So this type of conductors we can use in between 100 kilovolts to 200. And this type of conductors we can use less than 80 kilovolts. So based on the distance, based on the capacity, based on the cost point of view, we can use different type of conductors in different areas for different applications. In this class, we are going to discuss about bundle conductors and standard conductors. So how we can use this type of conductors like that, we will go to discuss. Right. So first of all, why we need the bundle conductor? So bundle conductor is the main intention of we are using bundle conductor means to deliver the huge amount of voltage to the load. That is the main reason. Okay. So why? Because I already shown you a figure. If the capacity will be increased, suppose if a family consists of 6 members or 8 members, you have to choose that minibus. So you can't able to travel in the bike or as well as car. So if the capacity will be increased, you should have to choose that bigger one. The same thing in present scenario, the power consumption by the load should be keep on going to increase. So roughly we can use that among the 5 years it should be double. So this is the graph we can choose. We can see that how the drastical representation of power consumption by the load. So from 1980, this is the level of power consumption. 1990, this one. So it is when go and increase and the power consumption will be increased. So at that time we have to choose some special modifications in the transmission system. That's why for carrying the more voltage, we go for bundle conductor. And why we are using means the first reason is it carries the huge amount of voltage, and second reason is the generating plants is far away from the loads. It means that the distance between generation and loads it should be more than 100 kilometers, right? So at that time, if you want to travel, if you want to transfer the voltage for long distance, you have to use that bundle conductors. That is the second reason. And one more thing, this type of conductors are mostly probably we are using in that EHV lines. What is the abbreviation of EHV? What is the abbreviation of EHV?
Extra high voltages.
Right, extra high voltages. like transmission lines, we can use bundle conductors. So you can observe in in long transmission lines where the long towers are there, right? So at that time they are using the bundle conductors. So the bundle conductors are three types. One is where we are using the two subconductors as a bundle, that is called as duplex bundle conductor. Where three conductors are using as a bundle, that is called as triplex. Where four conductors are using, that is called as quadruplex. So these are the different types of bundle conductors we are using in the transmission system for transmitting the huge amount of voltage. Similarly, it travels the long distances. So these are the two particular reasons why we are using that bundle conductors. Next, so let me see what is bundle conductor. It means that the figure is specifically show that here the four subconductors are commonly connected together by using the spacers. So this is called a spacer. So in this point of view, you will get question. So by using which instrument we can space the bundle conductor, they will ask. So that is called a spacer. So it is one of the most important. So this type of bundle conductors we can use where the voltage level is more than 300 kV. So already I said this type of conductors are preferable for long distance and more voltage. And one more advantage is that if you use this bundle conductor, you can reduce the corona losses. So I already said. One of skin effect is over, right? Sorry, skin effect is not over. So what is the basic requirement of corona loss reduction? If you want to reduce the corona loss, what is the requirement?
By increasing the diameter of conductor, sir.
Right. So if you increase the diameter of conductor, the corona loss is automatically we can reduce that. So that is the main requirement of corona loss. So you can also get the question. So for reducing the corona loss, what are the factors we have to consider? Options such as if the voltage level increases, the conductor size is decreased, diameter is increases, like that you will get options. So it means that it is completely depends on the diameter of the conductor. Suppose if you using the bundle conductor like this, the diameter will be increased. So that's why this is the corona free conductor. Next one is, instead of going a hollow conductor, it is preferable to use more than one conductor for phase. So this is only one phase. For remaining two phase, you can use this type of conductors, that is four. So this is for only four phase, single phase. In the single phase, we are using the four subconductors as a bundle. So here one single conductor is called a subconductor, and these conductors are separated by the spacers in equal distance. And this type of bundle conductors we can use that up to 400 kV and higher voltage invariably use bundle conductors. So that is called as bundle conductors we are using in the transmission lines. Next we go for construction. So how we have to construct? So generally most of in transmission system, actually in this subject everything is calculation point of view. There is no need, there is not assumptions. So everything should be calculated point of view. That's why our transmission is successful in present scenario. So let me see that how we can construct the bundle conductor. Now I am considering here three phase system, or let's consider this phase A, phase B and phase C. Each phase having the two subconductors called as bundle conductor. So this is one bundle conductor and it is second one and it is third one. Now our question is, what is the distance we have to keep between these two subconductors? That is the important question. That is 0.2 meter to 6 meter. So this is very important question for your competitive exams. So what is the requirement of space between that each subconductor in the bundle conductor? That is 0.2 meter to 0.6 meter, and this was separated by the spacers. And this value should be some values, some conductors having 0.2, some 0.4 and 0. So it is in between 0.2 0.6, and this value depends on that how many conductors or subconductors are there we are using in that, and what is the voltage capacity. Based on that we can keep the distance, that is 0.2 or 0.4, 0.6 like that. So this is the distance we have to keep between the two subconductors in the bundle conductors. And one more thing, the bundle conductors have the filter material or air space. So generally we are using the air space inside, so that overall diameter is increased. If you keeping the air space in between these two, the diameter will be automatically increasing. So if the diameter is increasing, then we can reduce the corona loss occurring in the transmission system. And how we can calculate that, what is the diameter of this conductor and what is the radius, by using these two parameters. One is GMT and GMR. It is one of the most important topic you are going to study in this first unit. GMT means geometric mean diameter and GMR means geometric mean radius. So ఈ questions మీకు mid exams అడుగుతాను. So what is the abbreviation of GMT? Geometric mean diameter. GMR is geometric mean radius. So this is the construction of bundle conductors. So we have to keep that certain distance among these subconductors, and these subconductors are separated by the spacers. Then it forms a conductor, and we have to keep a air space between this. Then we can increase in the diameter. Due to the diameter, the corona will be reduced. So this is about construction of transmission lines, that is bundle conductors. Next, what are the different advantages we are having that bundle conductor? The first one is, I already said, this type of bundle conductors are used for the bulk power transmission. If you use bulk power transmission, then you can reduce the losses in the transmission line. That is the first reason. Next one is, since the bundle conductors lines have the higher capacitance to the neutral in comparison with single conductors. When compared to the single, there is no chances to get the short circuit in the bundle conductors. So that is the second advantage. Next one is, since by bundling the self GMD and GMR are increased. So GMD means, I already said, geometric mean diameter. The diameter will be increased when it will increase when you are using the bundle conductor. At the same time, GMR. If you increase these two parameters, the performance will be increasing more, and we can reduce the surge impedance. So if the surge impedance, if we reduce the surge impedance, then automatically its capacitance will be increased and corona losses will be reduced. So this how surge impedance will be reduced means, generally in bundle conductors having more capacitance and lower inductance. So if we have these two parameters similarly, then you can reduce the surge impedance. So I already said, if the bundle conductor we can use, then its capacity will be increased. When the capacitance is increases, then automatically surge impedance will be reduced. So this is makes that maximum power transfer capability. So these are the four advantages why we are using that bundle conductors. So it is an important question for 2 marks. So explain, give the advantage for bundle conductors. So this type of bundle conductors we can use for transmit the bulk power, and we can use for having that more capacitance when compared to the single line conductor, and we can use the bundle conductor by improving the GMD and GMR for reduction of losses, and this type of conductors we can use for reduction of surge impedance. So these are the four advantages why we are using that bundle conductors. Next, in the capacity point of view means, without any losses, it means that with some less amount of losses, what is the capability of transmission line to deliver the load. So based on these conductors, suppose if we're having the single conductor and its capability is one only, if we're having the this is called as bundle conductors. So if we're having the 2 and its capacity is 1.3, so this is the rating of capacity. Okay. Next, when you are using the 4 conductors, its capacity is increases to 1.6. If we are using 8, 1.7. Generally in India we are using bundle conductors only 2, 3 and 4. So we are not using 8. What is the reason means, if you observe these 2, 4 and 8, in between this there is only 0.1 difference value is there. If you are using the 8, the conductor requirement is more. and cost will be more. So that's why they are mostly preferable for 2, 3, 4 based on the voltage levels. So they won't go for 8 because the reason. So its capability is less when just less differences between 4 and 8. So this is the capacity of bundle conductors based on that how many subconductors are using in that conductor. So if they are using two subconductors in the bundle, then its capacity is 1.3. If they are using 4, it is 1.6. If they are using 8, its capacity is 1.7. So this is the table reference that capacity and power transfer rating of a conductor and bundle conductor. So already here said 2 or 3 subconductors per phase are sufficient for most of the EHV lines. So here the most extra high voltage lines are preferred for 2 or 3 and 4. So these 3 conductors are using for the EHV lines. So this is the capacity point of view of bundle conductors. Next, how many types of bundle conductors? I already said that if the bundle conductors are having the 2 subconductors, it is called as duplex. If it having the 3, that is called as triplex, and it having the 4, that is called as quadplex. And one more thing, if you are using 3 and 4, you have to make the distance between among these 3 equal distance. Then only you can deliver the load in balanced condition. At the same time here also, here S represents that the distance between the 2 conductors, subconductors. And how we can make the distances means, suppose these 2 are subconductors, right? And this, so this is the 4 subconductors. If you want to calculate the distance between these, you should have to calculate distance between that 2 conductors from the center point of view. So at the center of this conductor and this origin center of this conductor, then only you can calculate the distance between this. So this is the way of calculating the distance from the center of the each conductor. So here to here, this is D. From here to here, this is D, and here to here. So you should not calculate like this. So from center point of view to center, then it is called as distance between the 2 conductors. So that is the way of we are placing the conductors. So next one is standard conductors. So standard conductors is used for what is the main intention of standard conductors? What is the main use of main advantage of standard conductors?
High conductivity, sir.
What?
High conductivity, sir.
Next, the main reason is why
High tensile strength.
conductors instead of single conductors, the mechanical strength will be increased. So that is the main reason why we are using a standard. So ఇప్పుడు మీరు థ్రెడ్ చూసుకోండి, ఒక సింగిల్ థ్రెడ్ కి స్ట్రెంత్ ఎక్కువ ఉంటుందా, మల్టిపుల్ థ్రెడ్ కి స్ట్రెంత్ ఎక్కువ ఉంటుందా? Multiple thread strength ఎక్కువ ఉంటుంది. That same thing, if you want to increase the mechanical strength of the conductor, the only reason we have to go for standard conductors. Now if you see this is the aluminum conductor with steel reinforced, that is ACSR. So I already said one equation is in last class. What is the equation? So how we can calculate the number of strands here? So the equation is 3n square plus 3n plus 1, right? So here it has the only one layer, that is blue color is there, right? That is called as one layer. So here n represents the 1. If you substitute here, you will get 3 plus 3 plus 1. So totally 7 conductors. So if you calculate, if you count this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So this is the equation we can use, that how many conductors we are used for the different layers. But in some books they are using this formula, that is 3n square minus 3n plus 1. And this formula when you can use means when you are considering this one is also layer. So now if you see this, if you want to use this conductor equation, then it is calculated as n equals to 2. So it means that it has the 2 layers. So if you substitute here, then you will get 3 4 the 12 minus 3 to the 6 plus 1. So it will get 7. So if you want to consider only single layer, then you have to use this formula. If you're using the center conductor also on one of the layer, then you have to use this formula. So you can use any formulas, but based on your consideration. If you're using that outer layer only, you can use this one. If you're using these two layers, that is 1 and 2 layers, then you can use this one. And similarly, for diameter also, if you're using this only one layer, you can use 2n plus 1 into d. That is for single layer. If you are choosing these two layers, then you have to use 2n minus 1 into d. So that is the difference between these two equations. You can use any equation, but most of the standard books, they are using this formula: 3n square minus 3n plus 1 and 2n minus 1 into d. It means that they are considering this one as also one of the layer. So now it means that it has the two layers. One is red color, that is steel strand, and aluminum strand. So this is the advantage of standard conductors and how we can calculate number of strands in a conductor. Now, so what are the main reasons why we go for standard conductors instead of single conductor, that is hollow conductor? The basic reason is, if you are using standard conductors, it makes conductor is flexible. So flexible means you can easily carry. Suppose if you see this, if anybody see that how the carrying of coil. So there is a big circle of wool, and they are surrounding this coil, and they can travel from one place to another place. But if you're using the hollow conductor, you can't able to bend like this, the circle path. So it is a flex. It is not possible to carry from one place to another place. That's why they are using the standard conductors for flexibility. So then only we can transport from one place to another place easily. And if you use single solid conductor, it doesn't have sufficient flexibility and it is difficult to carry. Next, hence it becomes difficult to transport. And next one is to eliminate this drawback. It means the transport drawback. We can use that several thin wires of a small cross sections and make it as a strand conductors. And which due to this construction, the flexibility will be increased, which makes strand conductors suitable to be coiled easily to transport. So coiled in the sense we can easily circulate that wound. So ఈ విధంగా మనం circulate చేసిన తర్వాత మనం easily carry చేయొచ్చు. So that is meaning of coiled. But in the case of single solid conductors, you can't able to coil. You can't able to bend that. So that is the main reason why we are using the strand conductors based on the flexibility. Next one is skin effect. So this is the second type of effect we are facing in the transmission line system. The first one is corona effect. The corona effect is completely depends on the diameter of the conductor. So just remember that. Now skin effect. So what are the parameters are affecting involved in the skin effect, and what are the what will happen when skin effect will be occurring in the transmission line? Let me see. Suppose if you consider one conductor in the AC transmission system, so already you know that the AC is in a non-uniform current waveform. So it is a sinusoidal waveform. Sometimes it will be more, sometimes it will be less. So this is the waveform of current in the AC transmission system. So when this type non-uniform parameter is flowing in the conductor, there is a mismatching of current is flowing through the conductor. See, the non-uniform distribution of electrical current over the surface or skin of the conductor carrying AC is called as skin effect. So when this type of parameter is flowing in the conductor, the current is keep on choosing the outer surface of the conductor. So it means when compared to the inner surface, the outer surface of conductor having the more current. When the more current is happening in the outer surface, there is a happening of ionization with respect to the environmental condition. So like O3, due to the carbon dioxide, different gases are there, right? With respect to the gases, there is ionization process, and there is some small layer is creating on the conductor. So this is the reason why skin effect is occurring in the transmission system. The only reason is AC, that is alternating parameter. Due to this alternating parameter, the current is always choosing that outer surface of the conductor. And so if the current is choose the outer surface, the ohmic resistance of the conductor is increased due to this concentration of current of the surface of the conductor. It means that when the resistance will be increasing in that, the carrying of current will be reduced. Already you know that relation between the resistance and current, right? When the resistance will be increased, the current will be reduced. So when the resistance will be increased, when the current choosing the outer surface of the conductor. And now this skin effect is completely depends on the frequency. So just remember this point. The skin effect is depends on the frequency. If the frequency is less than 50 Hz, it has the less amount of skin effect. If it is more than greater than 50 Hz, there is a more chances to get skin effect. So in India, there is no chances to get skin effect. Why? Because we are generally using the 50 Hz. But in foreign countries, they are using that 60 Hz as frequency. So if the frequency will be increased, there is a chances to more current is occupies the surface of the conductor due to the ionization of chemical process. Then the resistance value will increase. Due to this, the capacity will be reduced. So that is called as skin effect in the conductor. What are the factors affecting the skin effect? So if you want, if there is a chances to skin effect, let me see that what are the factors which commonly affect the skin effect. The first one is I said frequency. Skin effect is increases with increase in frequency. So in India, we are using that 58 frequency. It is plus or minus 5. It means sometimes it may be a 55, sometimes it may be a 45. So plus or minus, this is the tolerance value. We are not getting the exact 58. So there is some tolerance. And sometimes the frequency will be plus 5, and sometimes the frequency will be less minus 5. So this is called as tolerance value. Already you know that the resistance also having the tolerance value plus or minus 2, plus or minus 3, like that. So it means that the skin effect is increases with increasing frequency. This is the one of the factor. And next one is if it diameter, it increases with the increase in diameter of the conductor. So if the diameter of the conductor will be increased, there is a chances to get more current is on the surfaces. So this is the one of the parameter. That's why we are using the bundle conductors instead of using the large diameter conductor. If you are using bundle conductors as a group, so small cross section area we can use as a group. So that is the reason. Next, the shape of conductor. And some conductors are in circuit type, some halo type, like that they are having. So the shape of conductor is one of the most affected by the skin effect. Next, type of material. So type of materials is we are using the two parameters. One is resistivity and permeability. These two parameters are involving in the metal. Then these two can create that magnetic field. Due to these two parameters, the entire behavior of the conductor will be changes. So type of material is nothing but when the skin effect is increases with increasing in the permeability of the material. So permeability is nothing but how much of magnetic field can create. That is the ability of magnetic field. That is called a permeability. That is so already we seen nu naught into nu r, right? So this is called a permeability of that material. So these are the four factors will be affecting on the skin effect. So if you care about this four, then we can reduce that skin effect on the transmission line. Now I will show you one video how it will be skin effect affected on the transmission line in animation video. So I already sent material to you at 2 marks previous question papers. So if you go through the previous question papers, you will get idea on this. So what are the questions you will getting from the first unit? What are the 2 marks? So this is the video how the skin effect will be occurring on the conductor. So let me see that this is the conductor, and here red dot is called as a current carrying current charges in the conductor. See, generally our three-phase system is a sinusoidal waveforms. It means that non-uniform carrying AC supply. Due to this reason, the current charges are always choosing the outer surface of the conductor. So this is the cross-section area of the conductor, and here it is our electrons, and this is the internal part of that is the internal core. If you are using ACSR, this is the steel material, steel reinforcement. Now, in case of DC system, there is no chance to skin effect. Why? Because ఎందుకు skin effect DC system ఉండదు? What is the reason? Why skin effect will not happen? What?
Frequency ఉండదు.
Right. So for DC system, there is no frequency. It is keep on going to constant flowment. So that's why in DC system, the skin effect will not be occur. అందుకనే మనకు HVDC system అంటారు, high voltage DC system transmission lines. So where the distance will be more, where the voltage will be more, they are preferred for carrying the DC supply because of this skin effect. So this is the reason in this system is not occurring the skin effect. If you choose AC supply, it should be non-uniform. So starting, the current are flowing in the core side. After keep on going, it should be occupies the outer surface of the value. When it reaches the outer surface, when compared to the core, the huge amount of current is charging on the outer surface, and this current makes that ionization with respect to the environmental condition. Due to this, it has the more resistance than internal part. So when the resistance will be increased, the allowing of current will be reduced. So while designing the made up of conductors, these are the factors they are considered. One is skin effect, always considered. So what is the diameter? What is the resistance of the factor? So the first one is quality of conductor. That is type of conductor. So this type of conductors having the less chances to get skin effect. Copper and aluminum. So this is the one of the reason why transmission lines are made up of aluminum copper. Next one is shape of the conductor. Instead of solid conductor, we can use bundled and standard conductors. Next one is frequency. Next, size of the diameter. So the skin effect will be increased. What will happen? Resistance will be increased. Then there is a losses of power used in transmission line system. So this is about skin effect in the occurring in the transmission line system. So till now we discussed type of conductors, what are the differences, and bundle conductors, stranded conductors, and skin effect. So until now, theory part is over in the first unit. Remaining next topic are how to calculate the resistance, how to calculate the inductance and capacitance for different phases. So from tomorrow classes, we go for different types of methodologies while calculating that resistance, inductance, and capacitance. So from tomorrow onwards, you should have to keep notes with you. Why? Because it is completely derivation point of view, right? So that's why if you have the notes, then you can note down that all points. So this is about today's class. So we'll meet on tomorrow class. Thank you.